Welcome dear viewers to Tech Computer Solutions. We are going to do Excel spreadsheet exercise 6. So in this exercise we are requested to fill the following data or information into the Excel spreadsheet program, and we do the following questions. So each of the question is 1 mark. So number 1 says that we create the worksheet shown above and we rename it as grade. We create the worksheet shown above and we rename it as grade. So if we look at this work here, it begins from column A to column H and from row 1 to row 32. So I've already typed this particular information. We are just going to format it and do the questions. So I open the Microsoft Excel program. So it begins from letter A to H, that is column A to H, and from rows number 1 to rows number 32. So I select from A to H and I highlight coming downwards up to row 32, up to there. Then I click on borders. I click here and I choose all borders. So after having done that, I highlight this title here from A2 to H2. Then I apply merge and center. The merge and center helps us to join the selected area into one larger cell and send us the contents in the new cell. So I click merge and center. Then I click row number 3 and I apply the wrap text so that we may be able to make all the content visible within the cell by displaying it on multiple lines. So we apply wrap text. After that, I can select rows A and 2 and I bold them because they are titles. I can also highlight from these values here. I also bold them. Then I have the cell A13, A14 and A15. So I select A and B, that is that from A13 to B13, and I apply merge and center. Can click left side. I also highlight this, I merge and center and I put it at the left. I also highlight this, I click merge and center and I put it to the left. That will maybe have those values having aligned at the same area. So after I fill this information, so I have every information that we have in our question. So we'll proceed now to the next question. We'll go to question 2, which says, before question 2, number 1 said that we create the worksheet shown above and we rename it as grades. So we have already created it. Now we rename it as grade. So you just right click under the sheet 2 and you click on rename. Then you can write grades and you just click enter, or you just click anywhere outside that particular area. After that, now number 2 says find the grade which is equals to mid-term 1 plus mid-term 2 plus project plus final. Remember, when we come to addition, that means we use the sum formula. So we are going to sum the mid-term 1, mid-term 2, project and the final. So we go to our program. After we go to our program, we'll click on the grade. Under the grade, we go to sum. We click the arrow and we choose sum. So we are going to find the sum of the mid-term 1, you highlight, mid-term 2, the project and the final. So we select this one, mid-term 1, the values, mid-term 2, the project and the final, and you click enter. So it has calculated the 25 plus 21 plus 8 plus 30. So after getting the answer, you can just copy and you select the cells below. Then we just paste the formula to the other cells. So we have gotten the grade, which is the mid-term 1 plus mid-term 2 plus project and final. So you just use the sum, the formula which is the sum, under the sum if. So after getting the grade, we go to the next question, which says find the status for each student with a grade better than or equals to 80 as distinct and all the others as fulfilled. We find the status for each student with a grade which is better than or equals to 80, then the output will be distinct, and the others, of course, which they will be less than 80, then the output will be fulfilled. So we go back. So we are going to use the if function to find the status with the grade better than or equals to 80. So we go to our program, we click on the status, then we write equal sign, we write if, we open the brackets. So we click the grade, the first grade here, which is 84. So if the grade is better than or equals to 80, better than means greater than, so we apply the greater than or equals to 80, comma, we apply the quotation marks, then we write the output that we expect, which is distinct, and we close the quotation marks, then we apply comma. Comma means otherwise. If it is this, if the value is true, then the comma will put if the value is false. So quotation marks, we write fulfilled, quotation marks, and we close the bracket one time. So if the grade is greater than or equals to 80, then we expect it to give us a distinct, and the opposite of that, which is less than 80, then it will give us an output which is fulfilled. Then you click enter. After that, you can click on the status which is distinct, then we drag down. So you just left click at the corner of that particular answer and you drag down. So you can see that the first grade is 84, which is more than 80, and it gives us a distinct. The others, they are 63, 57, 61, and 65, which they are all less than 80, and that is why we have their status as fulfilled. So having done that, we go to the next question. It says we create a column chart based on the column student name, final, and grade. But before we do that question, we are going to answer these questions here which have the question marks. The first one is finding the average. So we click here on average, where we need to get the average of midterm 1. We just go to the auto sum. So we click average, then we highlight those values for the Alid, Naja, Latifa, Jasim, and Zohair. So they are from 4 to 8. So we highlight from cell C4 to cell C8. Even the ones which are blank, they means maybe that student did not do that exam or missed that exam, so he has a blank value or 0 because he did not do the exam. So you highlight that and we click enter. So that is the average for midterm 1. We said once you get the answer, you come at the corner of that answer, then you drag across that particular formula. So you copy across that formula for the others. After that, we come and calculate the highest mark. Remember we said that the highest is the maximum value. So we just go to the auto sum and we choose the max, which stands for maximum. Then we highlight from C4 to C8 because we are only picking this particular students here. So after you write is equals to maximum, you highlight that particular area or range, then you enter. So the highest value here under midterm 1, it's early, those count 25. Once you get that, you just drag across that formula to the others. After that, we'll find the lowest mark. We'll find the lowest mark, and the lowest mark, we'll click under the lowest mark and go to auto sum, and then we click on the minimum. The lowest mark is the minimum value, so you click minimum and we select those values, then you click enter. After that, you just drag across that formula to the other cells. So we have calculated the average, the highest mark, and the lowest mark. Having done that, we will now calculate the other one, which is we find the student number with midterm less than 2, midterm which has less than 2. So if you look at those values, under the min term 1 and min term 2, we don't then have any value which is less than 2. So what we do is we write equals, and then we type count if, open the brackets. So we are going to count the values. So we highlight all these values of that range, comma, then we insert the criteria that we want to follow, which is less than 2. So we want to calculate the values which are less than 2, then you click enter. So you can see that you have 0 values. Then we can drag that formula to midterm 2, because we only have 2 midterms, midterm 1 and midterm 2. After we do that, we will now come and calculate the project. And here we are going to calculate the student number with the project which is greater than 8. So if you check on under the project, the values of the range here, we only have one value which is more than 8, which is 9. So you are going to write equal sign, we type count if, because we want to count, so we use the count if formula. Then we select this range, select the range, comma, then we give it the instruction or the criteria that we want it to follow, which is greater than 8, close the quotation marks and we close the brackets, then we click enter. So you can see that we only have one value which is greater than 8. After that, we will calculate under the final, we find the student number with the final less than 30. So if you look at this range, we only have 17, 27. So those are two values which are less than 80, which are less than 30. So we write count if, then we select this range, which is the final, we select it, comma, then we say we need to find which are less than 30, and you close the brackets, then you click enter. So you can see that we only have two values which are less than 30. After that, we'll go to the next question, number 4, which says create a column chart based on the columns student name, final and grade. So we create a column chart based on the columns student name, final and grade. So I'll go back to our program. We highlight the student name from student name. So you begin with the title, student name, then all the names for the students. You long press Ctrl, you come to final and grade, you select both of them at the same time. Then you release the Ctrl key, you go to insert, then we go to column chart. We just pick the first one, which is the student cluster and column chart. So you click that. After that, we come to the chart layout, click this arrow, then you can be able to choose this layout. This is the best layout, so we click that. So we can edit the chart title here, and we write student marks. So we write student marks. So after that, we will click anywhere on the white area under the chart, and we drag down that chart around here. So that is it. Then you can maybe drag down. So that is our chart. So you can see that we have the exact chart as we have on our question. So after we do that, maybe you can change the color if you wish, and you can choose any of your choice. So I can click that, and you can see that we have our chart here. So I can just move upwards, and you see that we have calculated all the questions, and we have also inserted our chart here. So we are done with that question. Since I had already saved it as Excel 4, and just click on the save button, and I have saved my work. So that is it. So we are done with our exercise 4, which is Excel 4. We are done with our exercise 6. It was exercise 6, which we have saved it as Excel 4. So thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. Thanks so much.